Ladies and gentlemen, if my electric current kills, then I deserve to be its victim myself.
What if I told you that free energy, anti-gravity, and even cancer cures may have already been discovered, only to be buried by those in power? Why do revolutionary inventions vanish without a trace? Are they truly dangerous, or is someone making sure we never see them? Stay with me as we uncover the forbidden technologies they don't want you to know about.
This engine off of water, we've also had to learn the ability to adjust the burn rate of hydrogen to co-equal the fossil fuels.
The water-powered car and the mysterious death of Stanley Meyer. A car that runs on water instead of gasoline. It sounds too good to be true, right? But in the 1990s, Stanley Meyer, an American inventor, claimed he had done just that. He developed a water fuel cell, a device that could split water into hydrogen and oxygen using minimal energy. This hydrogen could then be used to power a car, eliminating the need for fossil fuels altogether. Meyer demonstrated his invention publicly, showing how his modified dune buggy ran purely on water. He even attracted investors interested in funding large-scale production. Then, things took a dark turn. In 1998, during a meeting with investors at a restaurant, Meyer suddenly grabbed his throat, ran outside, and collapsed. His final words to his brother were chilling. "They poisoned me." Official reports listed his cause of death as a brain aneurysm, but conspiracy theories quickly emerged. Meyer had claimed that big oil companies and even government agencies had threatened him to stop his research. Shortly after his death, his lab was raided and his research vanished. Was Meyer just another inventor with an impossible dream? Or did he create a technology so disruptive that it cost him his life? One thing is certain, his water fuel cell never reached the public, and we're still paying for gasoline today. The suppressed cancer cure, Royal Raymond Rife. Imagine a world where cancer could be cured without surgery, chemotherapy, or drugs. In the 1930s, Royal Raymond Rife, an American scientist and inventor, claimed he had found a way to destroy cancer cells using electromagnetic frequencies. His Rife machine allegedly targeted and shattered cancer cells without harming healthy tissue, similar to how an opera singer can shatter a glass with the right frequency. Rife reportedly conducted successful trials, with some accounts claiming he cured terminal cancer patients. His discovery should have been a medical breakthrough. Instead, it was buried. Soon after, his research was discredited, his lab was raided, and his equipment was seized. The American Medical Association and the pharmaceutical industry dismissed his findings as pseudoscience, ensuring that his invention never saw the light of day. Was Rife simply ahead of his time, or did his technology pose a threat to the billion-dollar cancer treatment industry? Even today, cancer remains one of the most profitable diseases in the world, and Rife's work is still shrouded in controversy. Did we lose a potential cure to corporate greed, or was it really just a scientific illusion? The hemp car and biofuel suppression. In 1941, Henry Ford unveiled a car that could have changed the world, a vehicle made almost entirely from hemp and powered by hemp biofuel. This revolutionary car was lighter, stronger, and more fuel-efficient than traditional steel cars. Even more impressive, it ran on a renewable, plant-based fuel, one that could have ended our dependence on gasoline. But this invention never made it to mass production. Why? At the time, the oil industry was booming, and Ford's hemp car posed a direct threat to the multi-billion-dollar petroleum empire. Gasoline-powered vehicles were the lifeblood of industrial profits, and a switch to hemp fuel would have meant massive losses for big oil. So, they took action. Lobbyists, backed by the Rockefeller oil dynasty, pushed for the criminalization of industrial hemp. By 1942, hemp farming was heavily restricted under the guise of public safety and drug control. But in reality, this had little to do with marijuana and everything to do with protecting oil profits. Decades later, despite advancements in biofuels and sustainability, petroleum remains dominant, while Ford's hemp car remains a forgotten relic of what could have been. Was this just another case of corporate greed standing in the way of progress? Or did powerful forces deliberately bury a cleaner, cheaper alternative to keep control of the energy market? Nikola Tesla's wireless energy transmission. Imagine a world where electricity flows freely, without wires, power stations, or monthly bills. That was Nikola Tesla's vision, and it was dangerously ahead of its time. In the early 1900s, Tesla designed the Wardenclyffe Tower, a massive project intended to transmit wireless electricity across the world. He believed that energy, like air, should be free for everyone. By tapping into the Earth's natural frequencies, Tesla theorized that entire cities could be powered wirelessly. No cables, no power plants, just limitless energy. But there was one problem: money. J.P. Morgan, Tesla's key investor, had initially funded Wardenclyffe. But when he realized that Tesla's invention would eliminate the need for power grids, and therefore electricity bills, he pulled the plug. His infamous words? "If anyone can draw power freely, where do we put the meter?" With no funding, Tesla was forced to abandon Wardenclyffe, and the tower was demolished. But the story doesn't end there. In 1943, after Tesla's death, the U.S. government seized all his research and personal notes. Officially, this was under the Alien Property Custodian Act, citing national security. But many believe Tesla's work was suppressed because it threatened the energy monopolies that still profit today. Could Tesla have truly unlocked the secret to free energy? And if so, why was his work buried instead of embraced? The electric car that was killed. In the late 1990s, General Motors introduced a car that could have revolutionized the auto industry: the EV1, the first modern mass-produced electric vehicle. It was fast, quiet, efficient, and most importantly, it ran without gasoline. With a range of up to 160 miles per charge, it was years ahead of its time. Drivers loved it, the press praised it, and the future looked electric. Then, suddenly, it disappeared. Despite rave reviews and growing demand, GM canceled the program, repossessed the cars from loyal customers, and destroyed nearly every single one. Footage from the documentary Who Killed the Electric Car shows fields of EV1s being crushed and shredded into scrap metal. So, why would GM kill off a car that people wanted? Many believe the answer lies with big oil. At the time, the oil industry dominated the global economy, and an electric future meant the end of gas stations, fuel sales, and oil profits. Reports suggest that oil companies and auto manufacturers lobbied behind closed doors to keep gasoline-powered cars on the road. GM claimed the EV1 was not profitable, yet customers were willing to pay for them. Some believe GM wasn't just pressured, but directly influenced by oil giants to shut down the program. Now, decades later, electric cars are finally making a comeback, but at a much slower pace than they could have. Was the EV1 simply ahead of its time? Or was it intentionally buried to keep us hooked on oil? Anti-gravity and the levitation device. What if anti-gravity technology wasn't science fiction, but a suppressed reality? In the 1980s, Russian scientist Viktor Grebennikov made an astonishing claim. He had discovered a natural anti-gravity effect using insect wings. Through years of research, he found that certain insect shells contained a unique microscopic structure that seemed to repel gravity. By incorporating these structures into a levitation platform, he allegedly built a working anti-gravity device, one he even claimed to have flown himself. But instead of being celebrated, Grebennikov's findings were dismissed and suppressed. His notes contained sketches of a floating platform, and he described effortless, silent flights over the Russian countryside. Yet, no official records of his invention remain. Could this be because his discovery posed a threat to conventional aerospace technology? Interestingly, reports suggest that governments worldwide have long been obsessed with anti-gravity research, with some theories even linking it to UFO sightings. If Grebennikov had truly unlocked the secret to gravity-defying flight, it would rewrite physics as we know it, and possibly explain why his work mysteriously vanished. So, was Viktor Grebennikov just another dreamer? Or did he stumble upon something that powerful forces didn't want the world to see? From free energy and anti-gravity to suppressed cancer cures, history is filled with inventions that could have changed the world if they hadn't been buried. So, the question remains, what else is out there that we're not being told? Which of these forbidden technologies do you think could have had the biggest impact? Let us know in the comments. If you found this eye-opening, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into the world's greatest mysteries. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.